Welcome aboard, everybody, and thank you for joining us to our flight to nowhere, where two friends sit at home and just travel the world on a virtual plane. I'm your pilot, Jacob,
I'm your co-pilot, Austin.
and we're two best friends that, met in 5th grade, and now we're here. Clearly, we're doing amazing with our lives, because this is what we do in our free time. So, I guess we'll start off with just kind of introducing ourselves and how we got to this podcast idea. Austin, why don't you kick it off? Let's hear about you.
um, as far as like how we met,
Where you grew up, how we met, what you're into,
um,
where you are now, where you are
so
now.
me and Jacob met in elementary school in 5th grade, like you said. Um, Became friends in math class over a joke about Justin Bieber. Um, Conveniently enough.
You gotta you gotta tell the joke, because obviously
Oh.
you didn't just make a joke and I was like, oh yeah, I'll hang out with this guy. It had to be something that made me think like I could get along with this guy.
So it's immature humor, but at the time, I after after the fact, Jacob tells me that when the teacher picked us to be in groups, and we had to do math together, and the teacher was notoriously not nice, and she told us we were in groups. And Jacob later tells me that he couldn't believe that we got put in the same group, and I looked like a fucking clown. So I guess glad I didn't know that beforehand.
That is true.
I so we get put in groups, and there's another girl talking, and oh god, I hope I don't mess this up, but she brings up Justin Bieber, and I'm like, I'd so tap that, and
I mean, he looks me in the. This is my first time meeting Austin ever. I didn't even know he existed. And we went to the same elementary school. Were you there since kindergarten, right?
I was at Central until 2nd grade, and I started 2nd grade at Hilltop.
Okay, so I was at Hilltop since kindergarten, my whole life there, and I did not know Austin existed until 5th grade, and he's been there since 2nd grade. And then, yeah, we had math class together, and I look at him, I'm like, man, I got paired with this guy. Don't know who he is, never seen him before. He didn't look like somebody I would get along with. And then, of course, there we are, grouped up, paired, and I'm like, man, this is some shit. And yeah, we're sitting there working on the math project, and like he said, the girls were talking about Justin Bieber, and he looks me just dead in the eyes, straight face. I'd so tap that.
I'd
Like,
so tap that.
what the hell?
I mean, I knew from a young age he was going to be successful. I was trying to get in. You know what I'm saying?
It's just not something.
Which, also, I didn't feel that way. I remember being excited. I was like, oh, shit. In a group, about to do some group work. This guy looks cool. I hope we have some fun. And he's talking shit in his head.
Yeah.
Already. Since day one, talking shit.
You weren't one of my friends. Yeah, I guess it's bad to judge a book by its cover or whatever, but
we were in 5th grade.
Yeah, 5th grade, and I was like, man, it's gonna kill my reputation.
Well, like, we just... Oh, you're sick! I was a little fat kid. I didn't... I just went to school, went home, and played Call of Duty. That's all I cared about.
It ended up working out perfectly, though, because it made me laugh, and here we are now. So, I guess it worked out great. But the sad thing is...
Best joke I ever made, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what started everything.
Pound for pound. Best joke.
That's why we're here now. But the worst part is, we became friends in 5th grade, and literally the next year, he moves away. Just gone.
I did.
Which is actually where I live now. He moved another time after that, too.
Yeah, I've moved. I went to elementary school with Jacob, and then I went to a different middle school, and then that had been 7th and 8th grade. I started there. And then after I finished 8th grade, I moved again and started a different high school. So I went to like all 3 stages of school at a different school.
He was traveling the world before this podcast started.
I
But
didn't have to fly.
yeah,
It was just a
they
trip to
drove,
nowhere.
yeah. But after that, though, different high schools we graduated from. Austin was set on going to NKU when college became a discussion, right? You were pretty set on that from the start.
100%. Yeah, that's because it was a teaching college and I was going into science and I didn't want to,
Have the
like,
distraction.
right, distraction. I didn't want to feel like if I needed help, I couldn't talk to the professor. And, with 250 kids in an intro bio class, you don't feel, not important isn't the word, but like you feel like if you have a question, it matters more in a smaller classroom. And I've been told that the teachers there care, which ended up being true. I'm
Yeah,
super happy that that's where I went. But we always talked about that we wanted to go to college together.
right.
So
And I was when I started thinking about college, I I toured a college in it was North or South Carolina, and it was the most quiet place in the world. Like it seemed like the campus was abandoned. It was so quiet. Which would have been cool. I mean, being in the Carolinas, but like I don't know, walking around and feeling like I'm the last man on earth didn't sound very
that's where we're
appealing.
flying to. That's funny.
So, yeah, that is where we're flying to. But once
Which
Austin told me he was set on going to NKU is where we went, uh, that pretty much sealed the deal because I really just wanted to be with my friend, and we didn't go for the same things. I went for CIT and he's in for, well, he's graduated NKU now,
well,
going
so
to,
have you.
yeah, but you're going to
We're both
UC.
graduated.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I started
graduated. He's
UC.
going to UC for pharmacy. Um, and like I said, I was doing CIT. Um, but
But we
you,
still got to hang out. Like we had a sociology together,
yeah,
like
that was
second
fun.
semester.
That was
That
funny.
was fun. We definitely did not skip that class often and go get breakfast.
No, not at all.
No, that's not us.
But we made it through. The teacher was, she was all right.
She was interesting to say the least.
I did not like the
She was very
assignments.
opinionated. She was very opinionated,
That's true.
and that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion, but don't force it on others. But I just had to pass the class. I didn't care.
Yeah, we did have some class together. We also a lot of times, the study rooms
Oh,
and it
the
was in the
legendary
health
study
building,
room.
right, where we always did that.
Yeah, the health nursing building.
Yeah, every morning come in
So
with Dunkin' Donuts and coffee.
my first semester was, I mean, I went from high school not ever studying ever, not ever,
Yeah,
never. I
that's
went to
true.
class in high school, and that was it. And I did pretty well in high school, which it's high school. I'm not flaunting that I did well in high school. Who does? But
He's a
um,
genius. He graduated high school.
I graduated high school. Get
Not,
this guy a job.
not a single book open to study either,
Uh,
which is true. That is true. I remember. See, that's another thing. When I met Austin, I'm the smartest kid in the world. Not
that
really,
was
not
me.
really. But it was, he did tell me he never studies or anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. This guy just runs the damn world. But it ended up being true because I remember when college came around. I was talking to your dad, and he was telling me like, Austin's never studied before, but college is making him study. He's opening the books.
Well,
So
we opening the books is a push, okay? Because we'd get there. If I had an exam at 10 a.m., we just show up at the study room at 6
yeah,
and study for 4 hours super hard, which it worked. And that made people angry in college too. I'd be like, yeah, I just started studying this morning, which I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but like people told me like, hey, when you say that, it makes it seem like you're being an asshole. Not what I was going for. I was just being honest. Like, damn, I can't believe I did that well, and I didn't even study that hard.
that's how we
Like,
got the girls to sit next to him in class.
they
That
all tried to cheat off me,
exactly.
but they didn't know. I don't care about the slit. I don't care about the axe wound. I'm here to get grades. I don't care.
That
I'm here to get
reminds me
grades.
though of the whole having the girls sit next to you. It was my bio class that I had, and did I tell you this with the kid in front of me?
I'm not sure.
So it was me and Caitlin from school, like high school
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
She sat next to me, and there was this kid in front of me, the next row up, and he always sat alone. He was that quiet kid. He's the one you knew was going home and studying all night for the bio quiz the next day. He was that kid. And there was these two girls in the class as well, and they never sat next to this kid ever. And it hurt my soul when the test would come the next day, and he would be sitting in front of me, and these two girls would come and sandwich him, sit on each side of him, and they would be like, "Oh, yeah, we didn't really study for this test, did you?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I studied it. It should be pretty easy." I'm like, "Okay, well, we're gonna sit next to you." And I would look up during the test, and they're just looking straight at his paper. I don't know how the teacher didn't see or how he was even okay with it, but maybe he was trying to get some bones. I don't know. That's always possible.
That's funny.
That was interesting.
People do that, and they're so like obvious and nonchalant about it, which I don't know. It's just like I don't. Do I care if you get a good grade from looking off my paper? No. Do I care that if I get caught letting you look at my paper and then
Yeah.
I get a 0? That's the thing I have a problem with.
Then you're
I
throwing
don't care.
hands.
I don't care if you don't study at all. You look at my paper and get an A. It is what it is. I can't stop you from looking at my paper. I don't have that control. But I'm not going to actively work with you and get myself a 0 because I, did what I had to do to make sure I was ready for the test. That's just wrong. And if they get mad at that, like, that's on you. I can't believe he just accepted it like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he took it. He took it like a champ, too. I don't know if he ever got anything out of it, but I'm sure he got good grades, and those girls probably did, too. Or it's always possible that he studied every night, and he just didn't understand a single thing he was looking at. And then they go and cheat off him, and they're like, "Oh, damn, he fucked." It's like they failed the class. They're probably still sitting in there.
I had a friend in high school that he said he had a girl, like, we moved seats, and he was like, yeah, man. He wasn't, I mean, we did chemistry together. Like, I was pretty decent at it, and he asked me for help. So, I mean, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind to help him. But he's like, yo, this girl wants to copy off me for this test. And I was like, okay. I mean, all right. That's not my decision. Whatever you want to do, bro. And he's like, all right. Well, he ended up failing the test.
Oh, dang.
She also failed the test, and she comes up to him at lunch, and she's like, I just want to let you know, those answers you told me you were confident on, you are not confident. I failed too. And I was just like, wow,
Dang.
that sucks.
Dude, I would be pissed. I mean, in both ways, like, if I'm the one letting somebody copy off me, then I'm mad that I'm just stupid. But if I'm lazy and don't want to study, and I'm like, I'm just gonna bet everything on copying this guy, and then I fail, it's like, I should have just studied.
Should have just studied. It's not like it's hard. It's high school chemistry. I mean, you learn it in week 1 of, like, intro to chem is what we learned that whole year.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it is not hard.
Jesse Pinkman graduated high school and he made some meth.
I mean,
with what he learned.
That's all you got to do. You graduate, like we talked about earlier. See where we are in our lives? We're making a podcast. That's how you know that you graduate high school, make a podcast. You're successful.
Exactly.
That's all it takes.
It is. I remember there was, it was my web development class. I met a kid, and he's from, oh shit, France or something. I don't know. He's from somewhere in the world, and he sits next to me. And you know how it is in college. Like, you go to a class and you just sit next to just a random person because you don't want to be alone, what if you do need help. So I was sitting there and he sat next to me, and I was like, cool, this is somebody I could be friends with. Maybe he's super good at web design or something. And he was, but the funny thing is, when he sat next to me, he's like, so how do you talk to girls? I'm like, what? Like, how do you...
He drops a question.
Right off the bat, how do you meet somebody fresh in college? We all don't know each other. That's the best thing about college. You're going in and nobody knows each other.
Right, it's like a fresh start again. It's kind of
literally
crazy.
Everybody could be your friend, and maybe it was just my friendly face. I don't know, or maybe it was my handsome looks, and he assumed that I could talk to girls. But that kind of blew my mind, though. I don't think I'd ever sit next to somebody and do that. But hey,
that's wild.
Well, we made it through college, though, so.
Well, it was unfair. Like we were talking about, like freshman year, we got like breakfast and hung out, skip class, that kind of thing, and which we hadn't been able to do, right? Because we went to separate high schools. We lived at like 40 minutes away,
Yeah.
and he's working, I'm working, so it's hard to like make time when you're in high school and you got 8 hours of your day gone right off the bat. You're busy till 3 every day, and then if you work most days, and then you try to work on the weekends because that's where you get more hours. So like it was just hard to see each other. So we get to college, it was fun to hang out, and then sophomore year, COVID comes around,
Oh,
and
jeez.
that was the end. Like we didn't get to hang out as far as like, being on the same college campus and going to get food and hanging out. Like that was gone. I mean, we were at home all the time and we were talking, playing video games or whatnot.
That
But it took away
sucks.
like the personal time that we had, which is it was it was cool to see you, and then taking it away, it just kind of sucked.
It's not even just that too. It's the when you go from being on campus and getting your education that way versus I mean,
Oh
I had
yeah.
a teacher during COVID where my class was remote, obviously, and he didn't reply to anything. And if a lab or something wasn't working, you're like, hey man, this ain't working. He wouldn't reply that day or maybe not even that week, but the day it was due, you better believe he's hopping on his little laptop and
Mm.
he's like, if any of you guys had any problems with his lab, just put it in the notes, and then he would just give you a 100. So it's like you didn't even get to do what I'm supposed to be doing, but hey, I got a 100. So it's
It's
like,
like a class where you just collect the paper. Like you
yeah,
just adding it to the diploma. Like that, but that's stupid, right? Because you're paying all this money and then you're going into the workforce eventually.
all right,
Like that's why we're doing this, is to go out and work for some company somewhere, start your own business, whatever. You have to be able to do what it says you can do. There's some people that aren't like as, intense as you are. You had plenty of classmates that weren't going as hard as you were and trying to figure that stuff out. I couldn't do that stuff. and
dude,
and then college doesn't even make sure that they know how to do it, and then gives them the piece of paper for it.
that's
It's
true.
silly.
I I hate group projects. I think the only group project I've enjoyed
We
is
line up on this
when you and I
so
when
well.
you and I met. Group
Yeah,
projects
that
are
was
the
fun, man.
worst thing you could offer in a school setting. It is
Right.
horrible.
Terrible, terrible, awful, awful. And they say in the workplace, like, you have to work as a team, and I agree, that is true. In
Yeah.
almost every workplace, like, there is some aspect of working as a team, but it's not usually let's all work together for the same goal. It's usually things are spread out, and like, you do this task, right?
All
You're
right.
doing this, I'm gonna do this, he's doing that. It's like an assembly line at most jobs, or like your job specifically, like it's you working by yourself, but then you have passings with each other like a pharmacist would. Like it's, you have some time to work together, but it's mostly you working as a whole, parts of it some to make it happen.
All right. I mean, God, it was so frustrating, especially I mean even back to um elementary school when you and I had to have other group projects, not just you and I. I think you
Uh,
know exactly what's in my head right now. I mean, you you either are the only one putting in the work, or if it's a 3 or 4 man group, only two people max are doing the work. You know what I mean? And in college, when I had my I don't know, advanced system administration class or whatever, I'm pretty sure you heard me talk about this, how infuriated I was. It was a 4 person group, and the stuff was hard. The teacher told us from the beginning, like, you guys, you're all you have. Don't ask me. If your group sucks, don't tell me. Like, deal with it yourselves, because that's how the real world is, which I have to
which is not
disagree
true.
with. Yeah,
It's
that's
not true at all. That's why we have HR and managers and bosses. Like, what?
exactly.
That's not at all how it is.
So I get this 4 person group. The one guy that was good, his name's Doug. Shout out Doug. He was great.
Shout out to Doug.
The other two, I can't even remember their names. I just know one. I remember when it all started. He's like, "Oh yeah, guys, like if you need a place to work and some drinks, you guys can come to my house." And I'm like, "What?" Like, no, this isn't a party. I'm trying to get this done and graduate because I needed this was like a mandatory class to graduate. So
Right.
that guy was automatically out. Like, there's no way he's doing work unless he's sitting there drinking or something. the third guy, I don't know if he dropped the class or what. I don't think I heard a single word from him. But Doug and I, let me tell you, Doug and I, till like 3 in the morning, we're grinding every night for these projects. And Doug was a trooper. I respect Doug with everything. I hope he has a fantastic job right now.
Shout out Doug.
And he was super sweet too.
I mean, luckily, I think in science we didn't have a lot of projects, and the 2 or 3 projects we had something in genetics, where we like made something. I don't remember what it was. It was just like picking different bacteria and putting it on different mediums. But my group members were Matt, Max, and Hunter.
So yeah, so that's
right,
the friend
right.
group.
Which all those are our friend group.
Yeah,
like
that's another thing.
Those are the boys. Those are the
sucked.
boys.
It sucked that going into college. Well, obviously I didn't know Hunter and Max and them at the time.
At the time,
you did.
Right.
But going into college,
no, me and Max met in Intro to Chemistry.
Oh really? Oh, because he went to a different high school, right?
Yeah. So we'll circle back, but I knew Hunter from senior year of high school. We went to the same high school, but I thought he was an asshole. He dressed like real preppy and like had this condescending attitude, but he's really he's a nice guy. He's just quiet if you don't know him. So he dresses nice and then is quiet and it makes him look like an asshole.
Could you picture him in this car right now? What do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's a great guy. But I only knew him from high school. And then I walk into Intro and Chem and I'm like, "Oh, Hunter, what's up, man?" And he's like, "Max?" And I'm like, "Who's Max?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I know Max from X and X." So like he didn't really know Max. It was like a partially know thing. But they all played Civ together. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And then we just slowly became friends that way. But then they all ended up being my group members. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, that's what sucked for me. Like going to NKU was like 50% based off I want to be with my friend, and then 50% just based off, it seems like a nice school. And it is a nice school. Like you said, it's very small class size, one-on-one interaction is nice and all that. But going there,
your teachers,
I had
terrible.
My teachers were bad. Like it was rough.
I mean, there's so many jokes about your professors. So many jokes about your professors.
Going in, I had no friends of mine that were going for computer stuff. So if I were stuck or something, it's literally like I'm by myself. Like I don't have my friends to call on or anything.
Yeah, because I mean, I had friends literally the whole time, all 8 semesters. I had at least one other friend in the class. Most of the time, 2 or 3. You had no one, and the professors just are not on par in the CIT department. Like the NKU science department is on it. The biology department is on it. The chemistry department, they're on it.
I had one professor I would say was the best, and he freaking, I mean, that guy's making bank. He did jobs for Amazon. He did some, like, it was Pizza Hut or Papa John's program he developed to make sure that it was like a camera that was programmed with infrared and stuff to see if the pizza was made perfectly to their standards. And he made bank off that from what he told us. But he was probably the only good teacher I had. And, I mean, if I could have had him for every class, I'd probably be a genius. But what I had was my dad. And my dad, to me, is a genius. He's the smartest person I know, especially in terms of computers. But even beyond that, all the stuff he works on, it just blows my mind. And the thing with my dad, though, is working with him on something he knows and something I'm learning is very hard. Because
your dad is like the dad that other dads like go to advice for.
Yeah.
Like I always hear your neighbors like, "Yep, such and such is over here asking my dad how to fix this."
That's
or Dale always fucking using your dad's tools.
Dale.
I mean, all the time. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but your dad is the man when it comes to fixing stuff.
Well, it's like I remember I had it was my intro to networking class, and I'm like, man, my teacher's horrible. And when you look her up on Rate My Professor, it's like the negative stars almost. Like everybody's like, do not take this person. If you take this person, you are screwed. And she was my only choice at the time for that, because that's when COVID actually hit, and she was the only one teaching that course remotely. And I was like, I'm screwed. This is it. And it was horrible. I didn't learn anything. I was literally reading out of a CCNA book, which is huge, very thick. I mean, it was bad. But there would be a test almost every day, it felt like. And I'd be like, Dad, please help me with this. And he's like, okay, I'll help you. And what I was reading in the book wasn't aligning with what he was telling me. Even though he was right, I was like, I don't know. This doesn't seem right to me. And he's like, oh, yeah, all right, just put what you put what you want. And I ended up being wrong. And then he's yelling at me because I was wrong and he was right, and I'm not learning anything from this teacher. So it was bad. And I remember when I passed the class, but when I got to the next year of it was network design and troubleshooting, I was like, this is going to be tough. It's going to be even worse. And I even told the teacher that, which was that guy that I really liked. And he's like, as long as you pay attention, you're good. And I did have one test with him where I was like asking my dad questions, and we didn't do too hot. I did horrible. And he yelled at me big time. And after that, though, I was on it. I got the highest grade on like the final exam and stuff. I was like, man, I can't go through that again. But my dad knows this stuff, and he didn't get to help me a ton, but what he did help me with definitely, helped. But
your dad's a man.
But, I want to talk about, I talked to you about the best and worst customer experiences at your job and stuff. I don't have any at my current job because I work a desk job, but
do you get like, so when a customer like calls and complains or emails and complains, whatever, do you see their initial message?
So the way it works is it'll get to like the call center or the knock, I guess you could say, and they pretty much write a description in the ticket of what the customer said or what the issue is. And if they can't fix it, my department is like the last stop, highest point to where if we can't see the issue, then you have to go to their house and troubleshoot it. So I'll see like some descriptions that make me laugh and stuff, but I don't ever actually get to talk to customers or anything.
Okay, because some people probably get on email and just write some crazy angry stuff
Right.
like, I'm trying to watch Jeopardy. It's the
Dude,
100th-year anniversary.
all the time.
I
can't even. You couldn't have picked a better one, because when it does get up to me, I swear every time it's like, my DVR's not working. I'm trying to set up a series recording for Jeopardy, and it's not working. Like, yeah, I'll go into their account and I look. Yeah, like I can see the recordings and what they have scheduled to record and stuff. And it's literally the series recording of Jeopardy. They got every episode in there. And I mean, you only get so much space for your recordings and stuff. And it'll be like 95% full on your hard drive, and it's all Jeopardy.
For Jeopardy.
Like every single one. And it's horrible when that happens, dude, because you just know it's like an older person sitting there. Right. But
and they're trying so hard just to do the one show they love.
They're doing it, man. And
Please let me watch Jeopardy.
The better part is, if it's nothing that we can fix remotely, they'll sometimes have in the ticket or the description like, customer does not want anybody in their house. And it's like, bruh, what? How is this gonna get fixed? You won't let anybody in, and there's nothing you can do remotely for it. So it's like, you're not watching Jeopardy. Like, I don't.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? If you want a solution and you're not okay with our solution, what do you want me to say to you?
I've said that so many times to the guys I work with. Like, how do they want this fixed, but then they don't want the fix? It's like, what do you do? There's nothing we can do, but I do miss. So when I was in college, right after I graduated high school, I worked at Menards, which is like a big hardware store, pretty much.
Are they national?
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely Midwest. There's quite a few stores. I can't say if they've made it all the way over to like the West Coast or anything, but I know they're Midwest.
I don't know anything about the West at all.
Super fun though.
Over there.
I loved working there. It was the customer interaction, everything was. I mean, I've probably told you a million stories of stuff that I had to deal with there, and it just cracks me up.
I couldn't do it.
But that brings me to the topic of best. I don't want to say best, maybe funniest, and then like just the worst customer experience you've ever had. Let's hear it.
So I have to be kind of vague,
Right.
if it's a pharmacy one. But I remember working at Champs, and I had this family come in, and it was a mom and a husband with like 7 kids,
Oh man.
like, and they all want like 3 or 4 different shoes to try on. So like I had a stack of like 30 boxes by the end of it. And I'm running back and getting the adults a pair, and I'm coming back and getting the kid a pair. Nah, this doesn't fit. I need a different size, and I'm running back there again. I'm a big boy at this
You're
point.
running
I'm
the
running back.
track. I mean,
No, I mean,
you're on the Dick's
I'm
track.
sweating. I mean, I'm looking around, and people are on, like, we have little headsets in the ear. Everybody's laughing at me. My manager's making fun at me. Oh, just bring all the sizes out.
Just
Let
get
me
all the
try 'em
shoes
all.
out here.
I mean, I was bringing shoes and shoes and shoes. It might have 30, 40 boxes. It was a huge stack, because after they're done, we just put them in this little area to be sorted and put back later. They did not buy anything. They didn't
Oh,
buy anything. And they didn't speak very good English. They were speaking Spanish, and I mean, I was in high school at the point, so I'd taken Spanish 1, so I get the numbers. That's it. Like,
right.
most of everything else was just them pointing, and I'm trying so hard to be like a nice guy and make sure they're getting what they need. And after all that hard work, everybody busting my balls, laughing at me, making fun of me, they don't buy anything. And it was like, you make
Dang.
725 in commission. I was like, please buy something, because they were trying on like Jordans and stuff.
Oh,
And I
dang.
was like, please, please. Nothing. They
You know,
left
they
with
it
nothing.
was just to put them on their feet, take a quick pic to post on Snap, and
The kids
be
had
done.
trash everywhere. I had to sweep up the trash afterwards. It was terrible. That was
Dang.
just terrible. I had another time at the pharmacy where there's a family that comes through, usually the dad, and they get a lot of prescriptions, like a lot.
Hmm.
But this time, he came through and picked up for himself, his wife, and all of his kids, and his parents, and one of her parents. Ma, ma, there's a screen that shows the prescriptions, and Max comes over there. I was like, I have the most prescriptions I've ever seen. He was like, no, I've had like 20 before. I was like, no, this is way more. Go over there. It is stacked from head to toe. The screen can't even load all the prescriptions in.
Oh,
I had to do each person like individually. And it was like a 20-minute interaction through the drive-through, and they're getting mad at me, and I was like,
the
the
line's
system
got to be
can't handle
backing
this many
up too,
prescriptions.
right?
It looked like a McDonald's, man.
Oh
It was
man,
messed up. It's a single lane drive-through. It is messed up. That it
man.
just was taking forever, and them getting frustrated at me. It was just like, this isn't my fault. Like, pick up your. And there's some from like 2 weeks ago, and it's like, just come pick your stuff up.
Dang,
What's yours?
it's definitely
People
the
don't get
Nards
mad at
one.
me. People don't scream at me. I don't know. I've been told, because it's like I'm a large person and I'm a male, and that's what Jennifer told me. She's a little old pharmacist, and she's like, they don't scream at the big people back here. And I've been screamed at maybe twice. One guy got really mad because I wouldn't. At the time, they didn't make generic Bystolic. Like, it was out, and they had tested it, but it wasn't on the market. You couldn't go.
Okay.
The wholesalers didn't have it, and he was mad at me. I was like, what are you trying to get? And he's like, I want my Bystolic. But he wasn't saying Bystolic, he was saying Nevabibolol or whatever
Give me
the
my number,
generic is.
Bibble.
And he's screaming it at me, and I was like, I don't have that. I have Bystolic. And he's like, I don't know what that is. And I'm just like, is that Mike? I'm like, Mike's the pharmacist. I'm like, this is Nevabibolol is Bystolic, right? And he's like, yeah, but we can't get the generic. And I'm telling him, he can hear Mike saying this. I'm like, we can't get it. And he's like, well, the doctor called it in. I was like, we don't have it. He said, this is America, buddy. This is America. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I know. I live here. I pay taxes too, bro. Yeah, I get it. And he's like, just give me the name brand. Just give me the name brand. I was like, I'll sell it to you right now. I'll sell it to you right now. Mike, print a label. He printed a label. Got that guy out of there instantly. Haven't seen him since.
Jeez, he said he's never going back. If I look up your Kroger on Google, it's probably got a horrible review about you for the pharmacy, and it's probably from that guy. I'm never going there again. Austin is the worst. He wouldn't give me my Nebabibolol or whatever. Oh, dude, at Menards, I don't know what it's so hard because there's so many. And I mean, I've been cussed out. I've been in cussing arguments with people, screaming at each other. I almost got into a fight with a guy. I think the best worst moment. Oh man, I don't think the
It's
fight.
funny that you get to cuss at them. It's so funny because I can't do that. I can't get angry
Well, I don't
around
want to say
raise
I
my voice.
get to. It's like
You know what I
if
mean?
you give me
But it's
that
more
point,
accepted
yeah,
there.
yeah. If I
Like
mean,
you go in there and you can hear it. I've heard it just being in public at like a warehouse essentially is what you're
right,
at.
yeah,
Like like that. What do you go there and expect? And also, if you're gonna cause a ruckus, like
you're gonna
why would
get
you
it.
cause it there? You're gonna get
Yeah.
it back. And I love that because I know people do it there all the time.
So
It's great.
I worked in the warehouse portion of Menards outside, like driving the forklifts and stuff. I guess I'll just use this as my worst. The fight guy almost. It was these two guys. It was a super busy day. It was like in the summertime,
This is a funny
and
story.
I'm helping somebody. I'm in the middle of doing something to help them load up their lumber and stuff. And there's these two guys in a truck behind them. They're getting their own stuff. They didn't ask for help or anything. And I'm like the only person out there at the time. Super understaffed. And I'm helping these people, and the guys in the truck behind me like just drive away. They leave. So I assume they got all their stuff. And you get like walkie talkies and stuff, and the gate guard, because you have to scan your paper and they check what you have to leave so you're not stealing, obviously. And the gate guard comes on the radio and he's like, "Hey JD, like these people got all the wrong stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll send them back." So they come back. It's these two guys, and one is one really huge buff guy and the other one is just super scrawny, skinny. um and I'm looking at their paper of what they're supposed to get versus what's in their car, their truck, and I'm like, holy crap, like this is all wrong. Like you're getting longer wood and you're getting more pieces than what you should be getting, what you paid for. Like you paid for short wood and smaller amounts, but you grabbed long wood more amounts. Like it's not even close. It's so obvious that you're trying to steal.
Right.
So I start changing their stuff around, and he's in my ear like, "Oh, I tried asking for help and nobody wanted to effing help me." And I'm like, "Dude, I was right in front of you. You saw me helping somebody. You could have asked." And he didn't. And after that, he didn't really say anything. So as I'm in the middle of taking the stuff out and putting the right stuff in, he takes his paper back from me, gets in the car, and leaves. Or tries to leave. And I radio the gate guard. I'm like, "Hey, Steve, like, they still don't have the right stuff." He took his paper back and wouldn't let me finish what I was doing. So he ends up sending them back. And when
I'm
I
weak.
when I when I get back in the warehouse, the big guy isn't there anymore. He's gone. So at this point, I'm mad. Like, you're obviously trying to steal, and you keep
Right.
trying to steal.
Doing
I
it
start taking
twice.
everything out of this car, like all the stuff that is still wrong. And here comes the guy again, and he's screaming at me across the warehouse, "Man, what the hell are you doing? Put my shit back in my car!" Like freaking out. And I'm already in a bad mood after this, and I start cussing him out. And I'm like, "You're effing trying to steal all this shit, and I'm not gonna let you just get away with it." And he's freaking out. I'm freaking out. We're like in each other's faces at this point. And the general manager of the store comes out, my buddy Josh, and he walks up, good mood. He looks at the guy. He's like, "What's going on here?" And the guy looks at him and he's like, "I suggest you shut the hell up." And then I get mad again, and I'm like, "If you got a problem, then it's with me. So take it up with me." And then my manager tells me to shut up. And my manager is still trying to be nice about it, and the guy's still freaking out. So finally, Josh is like, "You know what? Get your shit and return it, and get the hell out of my store." And then at that point, the guy just got real quiet, left. He didn't return the stuff. He just ended up getting the right stuff and left. But that was a good one. That I was pretty heated that day. But the other one that I was kind of stuck on, doing between that one and the other one is, I don't understand why people at Menards, you're coming to a lumber yard and you come in like a super nice car or something, and you're like, "Well, don't bang up my car," but you're getting retaining wall block, like huge blocks and stuff. And this couple came in, and kind of like what your situation was, they didn't really speak very good English. It was kind of hard. But they had it wasn't even their own new car. It was a rental car, like a new rental car.
Oh.
And they come
shit.
in and we're like, "Oh, we need all these block." And I'm like, "Okay." It's me and my buddy Jeremy. And we start loading this block in, and then they look at it and they're like, "Well, do you actually have like cardboard that you can put in the back underneath it so it doesn't like scratch anything up? So I'm like, well, I'll be damned. I have to take all
Have you
this
just
take
loaded
all this stuff back out, get some
it?
cardboard, and then and it's not like, you just walk in the store and like, oh, there's a piece of cardboard, I'll just use that. You gotta like hunt it down, you know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah,
either
it's not
getting
just stuff laying around.
compacted or whatever. So we find some, line their trunk with it, and put it all back in, and they're still like iffy on it. So they're like, well, can you do it this way actually? So we do it again, take it out, put it in. I'm getting pissed, like I'm mad. And Jeremy thinks it's funny. So once we get it in the last time, they're like, do you guys think that's all right? And I'm like, yeah, that's good, dude. Like, you're set. And Jeremy's like, I don't know, man. Like, you might want to switch it around again. I looked this man in the eyes. I was so ready to kill him. We had to take it all out again and put it back in. And then finally he left. And I'm like, dude, why the hell would you do that to us? Like, oh no, I thought it was funny. Like, dude, that was bad. I hated that.
That's hilarious.
But
That is hilarious.
what was your funniest interaction with a customer?
Oh, well, I'm really usually dealing with sick people and very old people
That's true.
or
Yeah,
diabetics that usually I'm not seeing people when they're in the happiest of moods.
true.
Um,
They just want the medicine and
so
leave.
right, they don't want most people don't want to talk to you. They don't care how you're doing. They don't want to know if you're having a good day. They don't even want to be told to have a good day. They just want to get their shit and leave
Don't
as
talk to
fast
me.
as they can. So that's what I try to do. I just try to do everything I can as fast as possible and get them out. Because then they'll be more happy when they're not in the pharmacy, I guess. Funniest experience? I don't think I mean, really, the funny one is the Navibalol guy. That's probably the funny. Like
Yeah.
when he left, I was just so weak.
That's one of those
It's like,
situations where you're
why
like
are you
beyond being
screaming? This is
mad.
America, right? I was just like,
Right.
what do you mean this is America? Like, what does that mean? Why are you screaming that at me?
This is
What does that
America.
mean? Like there was like it's not political. It's not like he just looked like an average white guy with a hat on. Like there was nothing special about him.
Man, this is America.
Did you have funny events
Oh,
that happened at Menards?
daily. I mean, the people you get in there, they either don't know like what the hell they're doing, especially on the weekend. Like it's when the weekend builders come out. Like it's your average grandma or mom that wants to build like a flower bed or something, and it's like
Oh, okay.
they'll come in and they'll be like, how do I do this, or what do I need? And it's like, dude, because you're not really supposed to tell them how to do something, because if it's wrong, then they're gonna come back crying about it. But let's see, I had there was this old guy, and this was when we had to wear masks for COVID when it happened. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
um
Terrible time. Terrible time.
so we have to wear and I worked outside at the time, so I'm wearing this mask and it's hot as hell outside. I'm like always dying. This old guy, it's me and Jeremy again. He comes back to the garden center, and he's got on the big like bifocals or whatever, but it's like
Oh
sunglasses
snap.
version almost.
Oh snap.
And he's super old, super sweet, and he pulls up, and I messed up right off the bat, which is kind of what made everything kind of go downhill in a funny way. I meant to walk up to him and ask him how many bags of mulch is he getting, but instead I asked how many colors is he getting.
Oh
So
no.
so Jeremy's looking at me like, how many colors? And the guy's like, huh? And I'm like, oh, like how many bags of mulch are you getting? And he's like, huh? And I'm like, I'm like thinking to myself, like, am I dumb? Like, what am I saying wrong? It turns out this guy was, like, he didn't have hearing. It was bad. He could hardly hear. You had to talk, like, super loud, and I had the mask on, so, like, it kind of
Oh
sounds
yeah.
muffled.
Oh
So,
yeah. You're speaking to my demographic now, man. I
right.
get you.
So he's getting multiple bags, and it did end up being a couple different colors. So some of the colors are kept inside the store and some are out. So we got the ones that were outside, and then we were like, okay, drive over to this door and we'll just pull them out to you. When Jeremy and I walk inside, we're already laughing about how he can't hear anything we're saying, and he just keeps going like, huh, huh. So Jeremy's like, dude, you gotta try and like just keep trying to talk to him and see how many times you can get him to like keep going, huh?
Oh.
so, So we get the mulch on this car. We start pushing outside, and I just start hitting him with questions. Like, what are you working on? What's all this for? Blah blah blah. And he's huh, and each time he says it, he like inches closer to me, and he's like damn near my face. Like we're super close. And I say something again. He's like, huh? He's like, then he finally says, take your mask off. I can't hear you. So as soon as I pull my mask down, I can't even get the first word out. I just instantly like laugh in this guy's face. And I felt so bad, but he was like genuinely like, what is this guy saying? And I couldn't get it out because it was like,
he laughs in this dude's face.
yeah, I mean, I was messing with him, and then I mean, he got me. He made me pull the mask down, and I couldn't hold it back. It was too much. I was like just laughing straight in his face, man. It was tough, but he was.
I have Oh, well, he was a what?
He was a good sport. He was.
I have to. I mean, there's a lot of older people coming in to pick up their prescriptions, so sometimes I have to like literally scream at these people. Scream at
What is it that you need?
So you kind of get into the habit of talking loud,
right?
Just because you're talking loud to a lot of people, because you're repeating yourself over and over, and it's like you're helping two customers essentially instead of just helping one. So you get in the habit of just talking loud. Well, I've had it happen maybe 2 or 3 times, like where I'll be talking to like a mom and a daughter, or a dad and a daughter, and I'll be like, "Oh, what are you picking up? I have a birth control ready. Is that correct?" And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!
Why are you screaming it?
Yeah, why are you screaming that? Why are you screaming that?" And I was like, "Well, I wanted to make sure you're picking up the right thing. Most people don't know the name of their birth control, believe it or not. So I was just letting you know what it's called." And he's like, "Well, it's not for that." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, it's not for that." And I was like, "Okay, let me go grab it for you." Like, what am I? I don't care why she's getting it. I don't care. I literally could not care less.
You just want to do your job.
Right. I'm just trying to do my job. I need to ask you if what you're expecting is what you're getting, because if I don't sell you the right thing, you're going to come up here mad as hell that you got what you didn't expect, and that's my fault because you ordered the wrong thing. I'm not doing that. I've had another lady go off on me about that. It's birth control. She's a teenager. You can't be screaming that. And I was like, it's what it's called. It's what it's called. My manager had to come over there and explain this. Literally just say the same thing I said to her. And she's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Like, dang, dude. I don't think... Yeah, I never had anybody that thought I was, like, yelling at them or,
They just thought it was, I guess, rude that I was talking, like, saying they had birth control loudly. Like,
He's insecure, man.
I don't know, that pisses me off.
I did have one guy. I love this guy to death, at Menards. I'd never seen him before. He came in, and he just looks at me. He's like, I'm building a chicken coop. Like, like,
oh, shit, you got the insider news.
Yeah, I know. Like, you just get, like, straight up, like, I'm building a chicken coop. And he was just so enthusiastic about it. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. And he's asking me, like, how do I build this thing? And like I said, you're not really supposed to, kind of point people how to build something. But this guy was, like, fresh. Like, it's his first time building anything. You could just tell.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and guide you through it and give you pointers and stuff. And so,
that he was always a nice guy when he comes in.
Yeah, he was always the sweetest. He never had, like, a complaint about anything I told him or anything. So the first day I saw him, he comes in and he's like, this is what I'm doing. I'm building this chicken coop. He's got his little notepad with the dimensions drawn on it and the type of wood he wants and everything, the amount of pieces. And I'm typing up the ticket for him, and he's super excited about it. And I walk him outside to show him the wood, everything. Like, he's good to go. He got the best customer service he'll ever see in his life. And I get his ticket. He gets his wood. He leaves that day. And I think all he got that day was the wood, just the framing for it. And about a week or so later, he comes back in again. And I see so many people there daily. It's like, I didn't recognize him. And he walks straight up to my desk, and he's like, I'm back. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm building the chicken coop.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, yeah, like, how's it going? He whips out his phone, shows me pictures and stuff. And he's like, I'm ready to do the roofing and stuff this time. And I mean, this stuff is expensive. Like, it's insane how some people come in there and just, they put everything together super quick. Um, and he's like, I want to do like, I don't know what kind of roofing I should do. Should I do like shingles, or what's this metal roofing about and stuff? And, being the salesman, I'm like, I got to sell this metal roofing. I got to do it. And I started showing him all the colors and everything, and he's like, well, I have no idea how to put this together, man. I was like, dude, I got you. I give him a rundown of every piece he needs, how to do it, and he went with it. He did not question a single thing that I told him to buy. Nothing. And I was even hitting the add-on sales. Like, you don't need this, but you could get it, and it's not going to hurt, but it might protect you in the long run. And he's like, sure, I'll take it. I'm like, all right, cool.
He loves his chicken
I mean,
coop.
yeah, dude, he put that thing together, and he did come back and show me pictures, and it turned out beautifully. I mean,
Did it really?
it did. I was kind of surprised.
Damn,
Like, it's his
good for
first
him.
time. He did.
Good for him.
The
man.
only thing he struggled with was when he was putting his post in the ground, like the 4x4 post. That
Right.
shit was not in line. It was not in line at all. He showed me the picture. I'm like, dude, I don't think it's straight. Like, it's.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you got to, if you're gonna buy all this stuff to build something that's important to you or whatever, like, you gotta do it the right way.
Right, and in a way, it becomes a little bit of your project, right? Like,
Yeah.
not just like a 0.1%. Like, you're invested
Yeah,
in some way,
that-
and you want to see how it goes.
That happens a lot there, especially when you're the one like selling the materials. It's like, I gotta see what you're building. You're buying all this stuff. I gotta see it, and they'll come in and
Right.
show you pictures, and it's pretty neat. I did enjoy that a lot. I'm kind of sad I don't get that anymore, but
Your
yeah.
job's tight.
It is. I do love my job. It is pretty dope. Now I do the video services for Cincinnati Bell, Alta Fiber now.
Always sponsored.
Yeah, shout out Alta Fiber. Thanks for sponsoring. But yeah, I do the video services, and I get to watch a lot of TV, and it's pretty fun. Build channels. Like, my manager told me when I started, if people ask what I do, just tell them I watch TV. So I'll just leave it at that. I watch a lot of TV. It's good though. I love it. It is a good time. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But a topic that I feel like we have to talk about, because you briefly mentioned it at the very beginning about when we got paired for the group project when we met, that you were just the kid that would go home and play Call of Duty. Your favorite video games, and we should probably talk about how we bonded over video games.
Right. So there was that big period of time in between, like, where we could see each other in person, right? So fortunately, we're born in the 21st century, where we have technology and we can actually talk. So after I left fifth grade, in fifth grade, I think it was fifth grade. Yeah, fifth grade. Jacob, I have a PS3. I play Call of Duty every day. Started
Every
on
day.
Modern Warfare 2.
Ranked number one, and what was it? In
Modern Warfare 2 for a small period of time, I was ranked number 3 in the world.
Number 3.
Because that was before the hacking went insane. I was playing 2 or 3 hours before school every day.
Dang.
And then I'd come home and I'd play until I went to bed. Like, I was playing 9 hours a day on the weekends. I'd play 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day. Like, I loved Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I loved it. I remember prestiging for the first time and crying because I had lost the AK-47. Like, I had just got it, and I was like, sweet, I get to use the AK. And I was like, prestige? That sounds cool as hell. Yeah, I'll get the new icon and level up again. Well, I didn't read it because I'm an idiot.
You lose
And
everything.
I remember crying at dinner. I can't use the AK. My mom's like, well, what do I gotta do to fix it? What can I do? She's a good mom. She's a good mom.
She's grinding. She's playing it for you.
she's fucking spawn trapping in terminal trying to get me to prestige. But he got a PS3 also, and
Christmas
that's a
time.
notorious story. I'll let you tell the story if you like.
Yeah, that was so. He played PlayStation. I played on Xbox, and he's like, you gotta get a PlayStation, and I wanted one so I could play with my friend. And at the time, online was free. You didn't have to pay for online.
That was such a big topic back then.
That is, yeah, and it was so good. And I remember Christmas comes, and I open it up, and there it is, the PlayStation 3. And I text Austin or I call you or something. I think I texted you and I was like, I got a PS3. Oh my god, we're about to fucking play
Right.
all night. And I'm trying to hook it up and stuff. And Austin calls me over and over again. I mean, back
I
to back
called the
to
man
back.
many times, like 5
Like,
times.
and the
I don't know
time,
why I didn't think you were smart enough to plug in an HDMI cable and a
I,
power cable,
I mean, shoot,
but
dude. At the time, I think I maybe like blinked 8 times in between each call. Like it was back to back, and I'm trying to set
which
this up. And my dad, he keeps calling. My dad's like, "Why the hell does he keep calling?" He's getting mad at me. I'm just trying to set this thing up and celebrate Christmas. But that
I was
was
so excited.
when
Like I
Modern
was
Warfare 3
so
came out
excited.
too, right? That was
Right,
what we were
right,
playing.
right. That is, yeah, that's exactly what we were playing. And I was so excited. I mean, you got the Christmas present, and I was probably more
Yeah,
excited
I
than you.
mean it was
I
insane.
was so excited.
Call of
But that's how we
Duty,
stayed in touch.
yeah, I was gonna say that carried us through years and years of not being able to see each other and just still staying together pretty much, and
Oh yeah, I
all the
mean,
way through. I'd say Black Ops 2 was that the
Black
last
Ops
one.
2 was that 2 years? Modern Warfare 2 and then what, Black Ops 2? Is that
Well,
how that happened?
shoot, maybe. Well, what about
Well, we played
Ghosts?
Ghost. We
Yeah,
played Ghost until I got a PS4 and you didn't want to get one.
right.
Well, then we switched and we played a lot of Minecraft and
Oh,
other shit too.
Minecraft, yeah.
So we have a lot of hours, and I'm an OG Minecrafter.
That's true. Call of Duty got us through a lot of stuff, and then it kind of went downhill when jetpacks and everything were flying around.
See you say that, and I think we might have talked about this recently. That we're both upset we didn't play more Advanced Warfare.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
why? There was a reason why I didn't. I don't. I think it was
the
because
G slide. No, that's Black Ops 4.
I didn't. I don't think I bought Advanced Warfare when it dropped. I think you
Oh, 'cause
did.
you didn't have a PS4.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what it was. So
I love that game, man.
yeah, yeah. I no. I remember I was so upset because was that the first game when they introduced like the drops, the boxes you could get and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that is
I
because
was
I got the
upset.
fucking speakeasy,
Yeah,
and I
you
was
would
so
get
hyped.
every good damn gun, and I
I
would
got
just
the
pull the
Inferno.
worst.
Yeah, I got all the good. I got both Bal 27s. I had a couple of the Infernos. I got the ASM1 Speakeasy.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
God, it was
It was
infuriating.
Obsidian
Obsidian
something.
Steed.
Obsidian Steed. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
It haunts
infuriating.
him to this day.
That really grinded my gears. Like it's like when it happens, like yeah, hell yeah, Austin, you got the cool gun, but like it's like my villain
Your
origin
heart.
story. Like
Yeah,
my
you're just
back of me is
hating
like
me.
I fucking hate this. Like I can't
And
keep.
I'm just like,
I mean,
oh,
you're
another
melting
day, another
people.
dollar.
Yeah, you're melting people with these amazing guns, and I'm over here with a base gun. Like, man, I just can't compete. Can't do it. Austin was super good at Call of Duty as well, so that
Oh,
didn't.
as if you weren't also good. We used to do 1v1s, and I get so upset when I'd lose that he'd let me win.
Oh, 1v1s or the 2v2s. I when in Modern Warfare 3, the 2v2s. Austin and I would actually share a controller. Each have one hand on each half of the controller, and one would aim and walk, and the other would walk and aim, right? Yeah, and the other one would
So
shoot
yeah,
and
one walks and aim, and the other one shoots and looks around.
yeah, yeah. That was crazy, and we would win too. So
Oh, we won. It's very often.
that was pretty crazy. That was a
That was
definitely a good
fun. I
highlight.
I saw it. I think we either saw it on a YouTube video and tried it, or we did it and then saw it on a YouTube video.
Yeah,
Like we should have done this.
that was something. But that kind of brings in, what is your favorite game of all time?
Oh my god, favorite game of all time. So I think it goes my favorite multiplayer game of all time is probably Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Okay.
Probably CS:GO. I think I think it's a fun game, man. The community can be fun, the games can be fun, every round can be intense. I like the economy. I like how you can outplay the person instead of just being better because some people aim train all day and I be having to go to class and shit. Um,
I can't
but as
train. I
far
got
as
school.
I mean, I think the best single player game is probably, I mean, it's probably got to be Elden Ring, right?
Uh, I
It's
think
probably gonna be Elden Ring for me. I mean, I
today.
love it. You haven't even finished
No,
it.
no, I'm gonna.
Wait.
I'm just saying today's best game, single player, definitely Elden Ring. Of all time, for me, is probably Kingdom Hearts. I have a special
I
place
knew
in my
it.
heart for Kingdom Hearts.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, that's
I
just
should have said it first.
there's so many things in that game that as a child and now is like, wow, they just blow me away. It is the most confusing story in the world, though. I will say that it is hard to follow. But I think
don't like single player.
the greatest game overall of all time, multiplayer and single player, it's got to be Minecraft.
Oh, well, he pulls out fucking.
That's the trump card.
Wow.
It's
It
got
is
to
the
be.
trump card.
There's so many. I mean, before even the mods and stuff, it's like it was fun. It's addicting to
It was
do survival
new
and
idea, man.
yeah,
New idea. Like, just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. You want something, build it.
literally.
And
And then you got
so you can.
Pixelmon and all that stuff. Like
Oh,
it was
classic.
limitless.
Love.
It is limitless still.
It's still, yeah, it still is. People are still buying Minecraft servers to this day.
We need to do that again. Actually,
Pixelmon. I just wish there was more in-game stuff to Pixelmon.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah. That was a good time though. There's a lot of good long nights playing Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
But our first flight is coming to an end. Oh, is it? I thought that was a runway right there, straight ahead, right? Where we
Oh,
go?
oh.
Maybe we're getting a
taking the
scenic.
roundabout.
Yeah, maybe we're getting a scenic view.
We're getting an encore.
This does look nice.
Oh, this is.
It's relaxing
It's
to
pretty-
just watch.
It is nice.
I think we are just gonna get a final spin or something. Maybe we're gonna go under the bridge. Oh
Maybe
wait!
He wasn't lined up.
Whoa! Wait!
Whoa!
What?
Whoa! Whoa! Wait!
What the heck just happened? All
Why are
right.
you flying? It's a flight to death.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my.
The AI pilot lost everything. It was auto flying. Then I don't know. Maybe it didn't want to end. I don't know. I don't know why that just happened.
You chose the wrong place to land today.
Yeah, this is not the strip. I don't know what happened.
You just crashed into the ground.
I guess that's the perfect place to end it, though. I mean, we can't go anywhere else. We're stuck here in the water. It's still spinning, though. But
Alrighty.
I think that wraps it up.
Well,
This
I'm
is
cool with it too.
yeah. This is
A Flight to Nowhere,
yeah.
episode 1.
the end to the first episode. It's gonna be posted up on YouTube shortly. Hopefully, I will get it up on the Apple Podcast at some point. I don't know when that will be, but I will backtrack and upload every episode that we do if I don't get it up soon. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. I actually had a ton of fun with
That was
this.
super fun.
That was. We're aiming. Are we going to aim for every Tuesday for upload?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So until next Tuesday, then, everybody. Want to say
Bye.
goodbye? All right. Bye. All right. Peace out, everybody.